What's going on, everybody? This might come as a very big surprise to you, but I'm a fan of wrestling.
What? What?
Specifically, there are three teams that I really love to watch and would actively call myself a fan of. Minnesota, obviously, that's where I go. Indiana, which I was accepted to, and also I just, I like a couple of the guys on the team. And although it might be a little blasphemous since I am a Minnesotan, I like Wisconsin wrestling, because believe it or not, I was in fact a college wrestler in the UW system, and I have grown quite fond of watching the Badgers compete. I've actually been to several opens with them. I've wrestled a couple of their guys, and they kicked my ass. However, one thing that I'm not happy about is with the direction the program has been taking recently. In case you guys haven't heard, Wisconsin just lost two of their best guys, that being Zan Fugit and Nicolas Rivera, to the transfer portal. Zan Fugit announced it a couple weeks ago. He landed at Missouri, because his hometown is obviously in Missouri, and Nicolas Rivera just announced, as of like an hour ago, that he is going to be finishing his college wrestling career at Maryland. And honestly, that came as a kind of a surprise to me, because Wisconsin is like a better school, technically. However, when I looked at Maryland's roster, they have a couple pretty good lightweights. They have Carter Young. They have a couple other guys that I can't really name off the top of my head. But Maryland is a pretty strong room at the lightweights. Looking at Wisconsin wrestling, I just have to wonder what is making all of these guys leave, because they can clearly foster decent talent there. They've pretty much consistently had a few All-Americans every year, and it's not like their room is garbage. They still have a pretty decent wealth of talent, and on top of that, Wisconsin's a great school, so it makes you wonder, why are people leaving so much? Today, we're going to kind of dive into that rabbit hole and see just why they have more and more people jumping ship. Number one, obviously, we have the transfer portal itself. And in my opinion, schools like Wisconsin that are big schools, but they're not that great in their respective divisions, I think they probably view the transfer portal like a guy views his girlfriend going on a girls trip to Miami. She's going to get hit on by some rich dude who's going to flash money in her face, show her his Lambo, basically say, hey, baby, I can treat you better. That's exactly what's going on to these guys. They're basically getting these flashy NIL deals, all these promises of yeah, you're going to do so good here. We're going to take such good care of you, better than bum-ass Wisconsin could. And, they're taking it. Why wouldn't you take it? Especially if they're getting you a better deal, they're promising to take better care of you. It's hard to refuse. But, unless you're insanely greedy, money alone doesn't normally make wrestlers leave a program. So, what else is going on? This leads us to situation number two, the coaching staff. John Reeder, the assistant head coach, just left the program in March. And obviously that was a huge blow, because he's kind of been a staple of the coaching staff at that program for years and years and years. And he was described as a guy that the team could really rally around, and he fostered an impeccable environment at the school. I think that his leaving probably had a very direct impact on Zan and Nicolas' decisions to leave Wisconsin. I think that is big enough on its own. But then you have head coach Chris Bono, who, with his relationship with Ben Askren, which nobody can really piece together, but we all know that they do not get along, and because of that, Wisconsin misses out on all of the best recruits in Wisconsin, and they lose them to schools like Missouri, with Aiden Sinclair, for example. And you get a situation that everybody can see is a sinking ship that everybody just wants to jump out of. And that really upsets me, because as a pretty long-time Wisconsin wrestling fan, I've seen great guys come out of Wisconsin. I've seen Dean Hamady. I've seen Austin Gomez. I've seen Zan Fugit and Nicolas Rivera recently. I've seen Braxton Amos. These guys are really, really good, and, Wisconsin was very lucky to have them, and they treated them really well. They clearly developed their talent very nicely, but they just needed to go elsewhere to jump to that next level. Dean Hamady had to go to Oklahoma State. Austin Gomez had to go to Michigan. As a longtime fan of the UW system in general, and seeing these guys at open tournaments, and I've even had a conversation with a couple of them, and it's just sad to see where Wisconsin wrestling's heading. And I've seen a lot of sentiment online saying Ben Askren should have been the coach, and yes, that would be great. Wisconsin would probably instantly jump to at least a top 10 school. From what I know, that's kind of a bridge that's been burned already, and from what I know, Wisconsin did it themselves. I think they had a really big disagreement with Ben Askren over his coaching style, and I think AWA is just way too big now. He is a pipeline for the best talent in the country to basically every program, and he no longer needs to just localize to Wisconsin. And I think that they let slip a really, really solid opportunity with denying him. You know, on top of that, I think Chris Bono just needs to be PR trained, and maybe we need to like send him to Askren's house in like a fucking maid outfit to do some dances. I don't know. You know, quell the situation somehow, some way, you know, squash the beef. But all jokes aside, like, what is there to even do anymore? From what I've been able to understand, like, the athletic director at Wisconsin just doesn't give a shit at all about the program, and that doesn't help things. So, like, I think we need to pull a Joseph Stalin and just overhaul the wrestling staff completely at Wisconsin and just start over. Because we need to, A, be able to recruit, B, hold on to talent, and C, ultimately just win and have a better practice room. And none of that is happening. And the direction that the program is going in really just doesn't give me confidence. So all this goes to say, evidently there is a huge problem going on at Wisconsin and something needs to happen. So please let me know what you guys think should change about the program in the comments. I read every single one of them. Thank you guys for all the support you've been showing me over the last couple videos. It's been amazing to see. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And with that out of the way, peace out.